Hey guys, welcome to the part two of Jairam interview. And so what we'll do, we'll just pick up where we left off. So yeah, Abram, continue.
Just wanted to ask you your analysis because of the trading period just got announced, and then the points value just got announced as well. And I think you have a little bit of idea of how many points each team has and what kind of position they're in right now. So, from a captain's perspective of a team who's a captain of a team right now, I want to hear your opinions about each team, starting with the Trailblazers.
Trailblazers, Nicket's team.
Yeah.
They have Surya and Deepish.
Yeah,
Right now, if let's say Niket, right? Let's say the rumors are false and he actually decides to keep Deepish. Niket has to use up those power-ups in order to ensure that he has an advantage of some sort in the matches he plays. If he doesn't, right, it's gonna be a pretty I think it's gonna be a struggling situation to use because draft pick, he won't get to choose which player to want. He needs players, experienced players from other teams, right? Let's say he's matched up with the Thunder for his group, right? So let's say and Rayhan is the player that's gonna be in the draft pick for my team, right?
yeah.
If he uses a power up, decides to get Rayhan, right, which is like a huge bonus for his team, right? That's gonna put his team to like a better advantage and a better like position to go against RCC Thunder, in my opinion. So I would say that Niket has to use as many power-ups as he can to ensure that he has a chance to make it to the playoffs and a chance to even win this tournament.
So you're saying he should be released into the pool.
I mean,
That's
if
yeah.
he wants to, if he
So
wants to.
so so if you
Niket,
were if you were the captain of the Trailblazers, instead of Nikit, you were the captain. You had the team Surya and Deepish. Would you have released Deepish?
Even with having a lot of amount of points that you can
Yeah, like
even
same
yeah.
situation, but instead of Nikit, you were the captain.
Actually, how it's working out now, I mean, I talked with Surya, is that when you release Deepish and get like an R for Rohit, they only have one power up remaining. They only have one power up to use. So would you keep Deepish have two power ups? Would you get an R for Rohit and have one power up as the captain of the Trailblazers?
I would keep Deepish and use two power-ups.
Okay.
I think that's a better advantage in my of what I think because having a power up is like you decide the game and how it goes, which is like, that's a good thing. And if you control the game, you pretty much like you're out to win. So that's the main thing. But then again, it comes down to my captaincy and how I want to use my players too, right?
Yeah.
That's the what happens during the match. So starting the match with control of how it's gonna go, right? That's a good thing. And then if I can utilize my players to their fullest potential, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm pretty sure I will definitely win any match if I have Surya or Deepish. Because
I
as myself, right, I'm a good all-rounder. I'm a good pace bowler, which is a good thing for the team. I'm also a decent batter, which is also good. I can help back up Surya, and I think that should be fine if I'm the
Uh,
captain
yeah.
of Trailblazers.
The next is obviously your team. You had an impressive auction. I think you use most of the auction for your core players.
Hmm.
I mean, in my opinion, I don't see you releasing any players at all. So what do you think? Because I mean, you obviously don't have enough points to use any power ups. You don't have any power ups on you. So what are your tactics gonna be like? How's it gonna work out? Because you might be the only team in the tournament that's not gonna have any power ups.
See, from what my team, right? I think we're good enough that we don't need power-ups to decide how the game's gonna go. I would say the other teams might need it because their teams are a bit unbalanced, right? We have some teams that are really have strong batting but like not good bowling, and we have some teams that have really good bowling and not good batting.
yeah.
And like they might have both, but they only have one player to rely on for each aspect of that.
Yeah.
So other teams might need it more than us, but us, we have three good all-rounders. They can bat well and bowl well. So even if they choose how the starting of the match will work out, we can decide how the match is going to be played and how
Yeah,
it's going to go.
yeah. I want to go to the Stallions now. It's a bit of a dicey situation for them because unless they release a player, which is RF, they can't get any power ups. So do you think they'll need power ups with Arjun RF in time, or do you think releasing RF would be a good situation for them to at least have one power up for their usage?
I
And
mean, um, I mean, if you think about it, right, Syme, he's going to be a confident person. I can tell you, most likely, he's not going to release RF because I
okay.
believe he's going to be confident in his captaincy that, he said himself that he can lead any player he wants to, right? Any team, right? So
Yeah.
if he decides to keep RF, right, he believes that he can use his team. He probably won't release him, and he can probably use that one power up that he has, which would be fine for him. But then again, if let's say I was in Syme's shoes, right? If I was, let's say, the captain for Stallions, I would probably release Ara for Deepish
Okay.
to make
And
a
yeah.
good bowling lineup. Yeah, and you have a pace bowlers like me and Arjun and a spinner like Deepish. The bowling would be really good. And batting wise, let's trust Deepish's words that he's a good player right now, that he's in his peak and that he can, score 30 or 40 runs like he did in his, academy thing or something. If he can do that and you have Arjun's, reliable batting, right, then it would be a good team.
And not only that, in Dhruv's interview, obviously with the captain's interview, that with the segment that we had, Simon was talking a lot about Deepish and calling him underrated and not much about RF at all. So that probably would back up your argument as well. And so you're suggesting that maybe releasing RF and having at least one power up for usage would be good.
Yeah, for him, I guess.
Yeah. Next, um,
Uh,
Thunder.
s- so
What do you,
so
what do you think?
sorry, Abraham, were you saying anything?
Yeah, I was talking about the Thunder. What do you think about them
Okay,
and analysis of that?
I'll ask my question after that.
As I said before in part one, the team I fear the most is RCC Thunder, And right now, Vedansh, I respect him a lot, He's a good player. He knows what to do in every situation. He can make the right calls, right? I think the only reason why I seen their team like lose or anything would be probably mentality wise, right? They come into the match with like a bad mentality or something, and they're not locked in or whatnot. And if that's the case, then most likely they're probably going to have to use a power up, at least control the game at some point. But mostly I see Vedansh, he's becoming more confident in himself, right? As he's playing more, he's becoming a good captain. He's utilizing his players, right? Like, for example, the last scrimmage, right? He won and he used his players really well. And he's using himself well. He knows how to use himself as a bowler and a batter. So I think Vedansh doesn't have to rely on the power ups as much as the other teams might.
Okay, now I'll ask my question. So my question was basically about squad harmony. So you saw yesterday how Deepish dissed his both teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he called Surya a awful player, both batting and bowling wise.
Mm-hmm.
And he called Nikit not logged in.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think their squad harmony would be and would it work in your favor?
I mean, it's for the part where, Deepish is hating on his players, right? His teammates. I completely disagree with like what he said. Surya I believe is a great batsman. He focuses and he's like prepared to bat, he will hit shots. He will take shots for sure. He has the capability of doing that. And I think in the last match, he scored 20 or 30 runs. Not, I think like 20 runs, I think, as a batsman by himself and hit like a few boundaries, which is good. He can do that, right? And I've seen him do it before. So I can trust him saying that he's a good batsman. Ninkith, um, I really don't know what to say, I guess.
Or why is it?
Deepish did say that he's lacking, like, he's just coming here for fun, right? The
Yeah,
club, he's not taking any, taking the club seriously. I think is that Nikit is like, he's lacking motivation to do anything,
okay.
right? I think that's the main thing. He's not motivated to do something. maybe if he finds that motivation, right? Something that like, okay, this is something worth playing for, right? I can achieve something here. Maybe then Nikit will play better and like show us his skills much more, as what Deepish said that he can
Okay.
do.
And so now let's talk about squad harmony in like for what do you call it? The Stallions. So as you mentioned that Simon didn't talk much about Arif and he like really does not like appreciate Wakanda. So what would you say about that? How do you think their squad harmony would be?
Right now, I think that Sime, even though he might, or I think he's an overconfident too, right, as what Deepish said, he knows how to control his team, right? That's the one good thing I see from his captaincy. He knows how to control them. He knows that he can take his chances on his teammates and like utilize them to their, utmost potential. So that's the one thing I can see. Like there's not gonna be much I can say like fight between each other, between their teammates and the Stallions.
Okay.
But if Sime controls his team and use them, he's going to be somebody that I can't like, like have to like watch out for.
Okay,
I
so
have to wait.
yeah, so my next question is that do you see a straight swap between Deepesh and Araf, like Deepesh to Stallions and Araf to Trailblazers? You think that is something that could happen if that was an option?
I mean, if you think about Sime, I don't think he's going to release RF, right? If he trusts himself and his captaincy, if he's confident that he's probably going to not release RF. And Nikit, from the interview that happened, yesterday, I'm kind of like, questioning if Nikit might even keep Deepish from what he said. Because if your teammates don't trust your captaincy, right? Like, how are you gonna lead them, right? You're gonna tell them to do something, and you're not, you don't, and they don't like you, right? What's the chance of them listening to you, right? So I say from what Nikit, right, their position they're in, he can't afford to have that kind of thing, right? Where his players are not like listening to him. So he needs people that will take his call, like listen to him, do what he says, and that's the main thing that will probably help him at least get a chance to go against other teams. But if you have players that are like, hating on him, right? It's not a good thing for him. So I would say if I was in Nick's shoes, I would definitely release Deepish, right? And try to maybe get a different player. I don't know.
Okay.
But like Rohit, I know Rohit that would definitely listen to you if you like tell him to do something. That's one thing I can see from Rohit. And if Nikit, I think should get Rohit to have that person always listen to you, which is going to be good for the tournament for him.
Okay.
I would, based on what you said about each and every team, I would want you to rank from 4, 3, 2, 1 finalist, semi-finalist, eliminator, the ranks of each team and how are they gonna make it and
Okay.
why. So
So
from 4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1. All right. The team that I think in the current right now, right, with before the trading period, I would rank number four, Trailblazers, number three, Stallions, number two, Gladiators, and number one is Thunder.
Could you explain why you ranked like each and every team? Why would you rank it? And yeah,
Naked's team is not very strong right now. Like, I don't see them going pretty far unless the other team that they're playing against is like doing horribly, right? They're out of their like doing mentally, they're just being bad and like they're not focused. Then I can see Nikith winning. But then again, if you look at the other captains, right, they're not gonna their players like have a bad mentality. They're gonna make him locked in and focused, right? So as for Nika, that's going to be a disadvantage, and that's probably going to put him in last place. For Stallions, it's a one-man army for both batting and bowling, right? They have to play with each other just like that. And at the end of the day, it's just one person. If you can like control that person and like make him get them out of their comfort zone and play as you want to play the game, you're going to win the match for sure. For us, I put us at second because we have I believe the strongest team skills wise, but experience wise, we don't. And that's gonna probably be our biggest disadvantage. And I see that skill and experience in Thunder, which is why I put him at first.
You've mentioned that if Deepish goes in, I mean, obviously, if Deepish goes into Sime's team, he's gonna have at least one power up. Will that one power up be like a make or break situation where they might be top two, with using that power up?
Mm, I don't think it's going to matter when you have a team that's like, I mean, if you're deciding to, let's talk about for my team example, right? I have the flexibility to choose, let's say I use a power up. Okay, let's have a chance of power up, right? I have the flexibility of choosing if I want to bat or bowl comfortably because I have a good batting side and a good bowling side, right? For Sam's team, right, he has only has one person for batting, mainly batting, which is himself, and one main person for bowling, which is Arjun. So it's when you're going against a team like me, right, that has good bowlers and good batters, I don't think it's going to make a big difference on who's batting first or bowling first.
Do you think draft picks might be a difference for the Stallions?
Maybe, maybe that's what I think. Let's say in the draft picks, right? If you get someone like Dhruv, right? Then maybe their batting has potential to go on par with us because Drew brings experience, which is good. That's vital for their team. And going as a team like us, right? I can't say we're not inexperienced, but we don't have as much experience as Drew versus Heim, which is like it's gonna balance it out. And maybe under Heim's captaincy, they might have an upper hand going against us if they bring in someone like Drew for batting. For bowling, if they bring someone like Deepish, right? Let's say Saim doesn't release Arif, right? And then Deepish, um, like he doesn't get chosen, and like Nick, well, let's say Nika doesn't release Deepish either, right? If he gets Deepish, they have a good bowling. They have a spinner and a pace bowler, and they have Arif, which is also let's say medium pace bowler too. So they're the draft pick, I think, is the main reason why Sai might win his games because he has players to choose from that can help him like build up his batting lineup and his bowling lineup.
A rule that we're not much talking about yet is a last batting rule, where obviously a single batting is allowed. Do you think that'll make teams bat more conservatively, bat more slowly, or do you think it'll just make them go even harder when they're batting first or bowling first?
If there's just you're saying there's just one batsman left, right? Like they don't
Yeah,
have to
single
bat, right?
batting, yes.
Single batting. Then definitely more teams are gonna play more aggressive because they don't
Okay.
have to worry about, losing their wickets as much as they long have one person, let's say a reliable person, right, that be able to take shots as by himself. But then again, I believe that it depends on the team that they have, right? Let's talk about, let's say, Trailblazers. If you have Surya as an opener, right, and let's say he gets out, right, and Nikit is there, and let's say Deepish comes in, right? I say that they can't afford to let one of them go down because they need each other to build a good partnership. Because if one of them goes down, it's going to disrupt the rhythm they have. And I can't say that Deepish and Nikit are batsmen that they can play by themselves
Mhm.
and like score consistently against like everybody else.
Yeah.
They need
For the
people.
Stallions, yeah, for the Stallions, you said that it's a one-man army batting and Simon's the only one that could possibly bat. So how is this last batting role gonna play out for them?
I mean, Saim, I've seen him hold his wicket for a long time, right? He's been able to, let's say for a 10 over match, right? He's been able to hold his wicket for almost 7 overs, which is something pretty good from his team. When you have someone like Arif, right? Arif, he plays if he's focused and he's like ready to perform, he performs well, right? But then again, right? If both of them are batting and one of them gets out, it's just going to be on relying on the other person to do something. And I'd say Syme probably has the main mentality to bat by himself, and he doesn't need a partner to do it.
Yeah.
Arif, I can't say I have seen him bat as much to decide if he can bat by himself or he needs someone, to create a partnership with that he can bat. I haven't like seen him play as much. So if I see him play more, I'll probably get a better understanding about that. But I think that if it comes down to Stallions and they one batter, if Symes batting by himself, then they're going to be in a good position to like score runs. But if it's just like let's say Arif, they're not going to be, from what I think, not yet. They're not going to be scoring as much runs with Arif just by himself.
Will we be seeing your team bat really aggressively in the tournament as a sign? We're right now gonna be on YouTube soon. So a sign, something you're gonna say to the captains that we're gonna play aggressively like SRH in 2024, who played really aggressively. Are we gonna see that from the Gladiators in this tournament?
From Gladiators for this tournament, I mean, I can say you can see us play aggressively, that's something you can expect from us. We have a great batting lineup. You have Rehan. He scored, I think, like his like in a few in the series, I think he scored over 30 or 40 runs in the like match. That's by himself, which is pretty good. He was like the main decider, right? When it was Dhruv, it was the second match, right? It was like we chose to bat first, I believe. He was hitting his shots and he was able to get such a high score that we were able to win. And his bowling helped us win too. It was Deepish that needed to get one run out of four balls. And we have Rehan here who played so well that he could hit one run off of those four balls. And if I have a team like that, I know I can win any match. And I can play aggressively,
Yeah, that's a good
flexible and
mentality.
flexible.
That's a good mentality. We're talking again about your team. I think we're possibly gonna see Rayann's gonna be opening. Who's gonna be the opening partner? And if you don't have an opening partner in your core players right now, are you gonna go in the draft picks and find an opening partner for Rayhan? Or how is it gonna work out?
Right now I want to see how the trading period goes out and like see how the final teams are gonna be like. After that, I'm going to decide a opening partner for Rayhan. Rayhan's a great opener. He does well as an opener. And if let's say the teams are as is right now, I might let Dhruv open with Rayhan. If I get first draft pick, I might let Dhruv open with Rayhan. If not, I'll try to see if any of the other non-core players want to open. If they're also flexible in opening, I'll send him in with Rehan. But I want to let Rehan decide who he wants because I want him to be flexible and like confident in his abilities and his team openers' abilities too. Because I can't decide because I'm not the one playing there, right? I'm probably not going to be an opener with him, but it's Rehan. I want him to be able to choose who he wants to go out with and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions, Roof?
Oh yeah, I do have a question. Sorry, I had a bit of internet issue. So my question to you is, how are the pitch conditions gonna affect your game plan?
That's a good topic to talk about. When we're gonna play on the main field, right? The big one, not the grassy one. It's
The
like
main one,
one where we
yes. Yeah.
played the series, the main pitch, right? We played in that. I'm very comfortable in playing that pitch, right? I don't think it's probably not my most comfortable one, but I can play in that pitch well. I played there the most, so I understand how the field's gonna be like. So I think that's a good place to play. The bigger and grassy one, that's the pitch I'm the most comfortable with. I can play really well with that pitch. And it works really well with my bowling. So if I play in that pitch, I can utilize my team really well because I know how to set up a field there. And I'll do well. If it's that one backup pitch, right? I really, really hate that pitch because it's terrible. The ball does not bounce, right? And it goes all over the place, the ball. And the field is really small. So there's not many places to hit. If you're gonna hit, it's only at one place. That's it. And you can't, expect to hit that at that place every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes down to the pitches, right? I really hope it's the big grassy pitch. Most of the time, I hope that there's no one else playing there so we can, play our tournaments freely there. But if it also the other one, the main pitch that we use, if we play there, I'll be fine there too because I played there long enough to understand it and how the pitch goes and whatnot. But if it's that grassy pitch, yeah, it's not good.
Okay. So lastly, now let's talk more about your own ability. So we have seen you being kind of inconsistent, if I must say, about your bowl with your bowling, because you haven't like played in a long time.
Yeah.
So how are you going to tackle that?
So for me, my bowling, right? I'm a self-made bowler. I haven't gone to any cricket coaching or whatnot, right? I've been practicing bowling by myself since I started to want to play cricket. So in the beginning, I didn't have any guidance to choose from. So it's all by myself, right? Looking over the internet, finding good people to watch and learn from, right? And then learning from my friends too, since they were also good at bowling. I think in the beginning, right, Abiram knows I used to live close by to him, right? My bowling has not been that great before, but that was over a year ago, I think, since I moved from that place. It's been exactly a year. And if you look at that place now, right, you can see a growth in bowling. Yeah, like I know Abiram can probably agree with that, that I've been growing as a bowler and I've been more consistent in the series. Um, the main thing I realized is that my form has not been that great, like my bowling form and my run up and all. And I've learned to practice more and like make sure my run up is everything is much better. And in the scrimmage we played last week, I was bowling against Vedansh and Surya, and I only conceded 5 runs, right? Not a single boundary, which is 5 runs, and I don't think I got a single wide, which is pretty good. That's like good improvement. And as we play more matches and whatnot, I see that I'll become a better bowler and I can handle every situation. I can find different strategies to play with. And I think I'll be pretty good as when the tournament starts.
Okay. So Abram, do you have any last questions?
Final question. Uh, right now you Simon told said that your team's overrated. Um, on the flip side, you're seeing civil war happening right now in Trailblazers. And maybe a player missing out in the tournament as well. On all of this, what is your final thought? Anyone you want to talk about? Say, it's like tell anybody in this episode with us. Final thing.
I really don't have much to say. I would say for their captains that I hope y'all like, choose wisely in how you do how you run your team and make sure that you're happy with how your team is and like you get the players you want. But most importantly, I just want everybody to have fun and enjoy the tournament, which is probably the main thing that we're playing it for. And it's not always about winning, you always have to get that good experience too. And if you try your best every single time, that's like a golden coin right there. That's a golden trophy too. So if you have play and have fun, that's the thing I would say to all the captains to play and have fun.
Yep. Thank you for coming for the meeting. Hopefully, you know, viewers who are watching had a good insight about Jairam's team, his thoughts, and his opinions.
Yeah, and Jairam, thank you for being our what do you call it? Being our first person to like actually like request an interview. It helps the club a lot. Your contribution helps the club a
Yeah.
lot. And
Last final question. If this was a
oh,
boxing match, who would you be calling out next to come for a raw interview with us?
I would call Sime to interview because I've been like, a bit mean against him. I mean on him,
okay, okay.
he like has something to say back. I want to hear from him. That's the person I'm calling out to interview
Uh,
next.
so there we go, guys. Jera has a challenge Sam. So I will try to get Sam soon. And yesterday while reading comments, I saw one comment from I don't know who it is. It's Chunnu Munnu is the name. That person asked, when is Nikit going to have an interview? So, I just want to say if Nikit wants an interview as well, we invite him, and we might get that done soon.
Soon, very soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it might come out tomorrow. So please like subscribe, share it with your friends, follow us on Instagram. Instagram ID is in our description, is in our channel description. So yeah, there's all. Bye, guys.